Thieves have reached a new low, and that new low is stealing from the dead.
They are ripping the bronze nameplates and vases from headstones at a local cemetery. Our Matt Doherty is at the Forest Park Lawndale Cemetery to share this heartbreaking way that one man discovered this problem.
Thieves hunting for metal have been pulling it from the headstones behind the gates of this cemetery, and it was especially hurtful for one man who went to go visit his mother's gravesite for Mother's Day. Johnny Edwards leads us to his parents' plot here at Forest Park Lawndale. His mom and dad both passed away several years ago and were buried right here. When he came here last week, he couldn't find the spot though. Edwards had been here many times over the years, but now the marker is missing. His parents' headstones used to have bronze markers attached with their names, birth, and death dates on granite headstones like this one. Edwards says it was stolen.
It's just not right. Not right to steal anything but from somebody's grave, you know. And it just makes me wonder, with all the graves, that somebody could come in here and do this. I don't think it was done at nighttime.
Edwards' parents aren't the only victims here who've had something stolen. We checked with police. They tell us last week a woman reported a bronze vase was stolen from a gravesite here too. When we were inside the gates earlier, we saw several of those headstones with some of those bronze vases missing. We are still waiting for a response from the cemetery's managers. From Southeast Houston, standing for Houston, Matt Doherty, KHU 11 News.
Yeah, that one is tough to swallow. Thank you, Matt.